down the end of the block. I was getting in some guy's computer. He didn't complain, but he talked to me at a party a couple weeks later. Yeah, I listen to you in the morning. You know, I'm thinking, oh, great. Poor ground. This next month's project is to drive some more stakes in the ground and make a perimeter ground around here, and maybe help siphon off some of this RF. But anyway, that's all. All part of the game, isn't it? Hey, let's see how Perry's doing this morning. How's life up there in the Delaware Valley? W3MMR with WC4D. Go ahead and take it. WD4NKA.
Hey, good morning, Gar. Good morning, Don. Excuse me. WD4NKA with WC4D. W3MMR. Just getting back from my morning run. 16 balmy degrees here this morning. A little chilly up here in the Delaware Valley, here in southeast Pennsylvania. A little bit on the cold side, but it's a nice, crisp, beautiful, clear morning here. Great topic from you two this morning up this way. Nice, quiet band conditions. Not too much to report, except that noise, my neighbor's noise, kind of came back, but it's not real bad. Like last night, I noticed, I could just barely notice it at my noise floor. Just if I didn't have the pan adapter, I wouldn't have been able to notice it. But I noticed it, and it's the same type of interference. Looks the same. It's on the same frequencies, the same bandwidth, I guess you could say, of it. And then I switch over to my diversity antenna, and it switches on the second receiver on this. And I can just have the second receiver, and then it shows up. So I think they moved it to the other side of the house or something. Because I think if you guys remember, I told you that they didn't give me the right television, and that whole deal. The noise was still there when the TV at my front doorstep, so on and so forth. So that's kind of a bummer. But, I had a nice long conversation on the phone with my dad last night about it. And, he explained to me that, forget about the money, get the money out of your head. That money's gone, it's spent. The noise is better. You can't fix people, you can't fix stupid, And there's nothing you can really do about it. If it's on the other side of the house and it's better, at least you didn't have to move your antennas, because if, say, the FCC did come in and get home, 99% chance it wouldn't even show up, even if I tried to contact them. They would probably ask me to move my antenna because how close it is to their house. It's right on their property line. It's from one corner of my property, which is, 20 feet from their house, all the way to the other corner of my property. I couldn't even move it if I wanted to. So I guess I'm just going to have to keep my mouth shut and deal with it. But if it comes back worse, like it was, as bad as it was, then I'll take different steps. But that's the story here. So enough with the TV talk. It's the last time I'm going to mention it, I promise. But that's nothing else new to report here besides trying some new coffee stuff. I bought some pour-over type coffee. And, I bought a new coffee grinder. I bought 2 pounds of coffee beans. And a hot water kettle, gooseneck coffee kettle, and so electric kettle there. So we're trying something new instead of the old Mr. Coffee machine. So we'll be trying that tomorrow morning. Back up to you, or down to you, Don. Good morning to you. WC4D from W3MMR.
Good morning. How you doing, Terry? W3MMR, WC4D. I heard your dad on there this morning. I like my phone, but I don't think he was looking for a contact. He must have been trying to test something. But, man, he was booming in here. He was way over 30 over. I know that. I didn't get it. He just because you said his call a couple of times, but he was really loud this morning. Sounded good. And at first you were kind of a little bit low on me there. But, man, now you're coming back good and strong. Now you're really sounding good. Did you say you had a running this summer with 16-degree weather? Holy cow. One thing I could do at 16-degree weather is run to the bathroom from the bed. That's about it. but I can't run anyway. I've got 2 knee replacements and a hip replacement, so running is not an option for me. I wonder sometimes if the house is on fire, if I'll ever be able to get away from it. I've been sick this weekend. I told I said I've had some kind of stomach bug. I've been down for sleeping for an incredible amount of hours for the last couple of days. And I probably slept 38 hours out of the last 48 hours. But I woke up about 2 or 3 o'clock this morning, and man, I was in a cold sweat. My shirt was soaking wet. I guess my fever had finally bumped up for good, and I feel fine now, just like I've never been sick. But I'll tell you what, yesterday I went to church, and not yesterday, but Sunday I went to church, and I didn't feel so great, but I hope I didn't contaminate half the people with all the handshaking and stuff. That may not be so good. I wonder why my SWR meter just popped on here for. It says I got a 1.08 SWR, but my alarm's alerts on. Don't know what that's all about. But it looks good, so I'll just reset it again and let it go. I think I might have had a glitch in it or something. I'm glad the noise is gone for now. When I first got on this morning, I had electrical noise. I battle it all the time. And it'll say it comes on, and then it goes off and stays off for, maybe a day or two. And sometimes it'll come on and goes off and comes on and goes off. And, it's hard to find it when it's off, and so you never know. And it's always the worst times. It's like at night or something when it goes off. So you can't go crawling through your neighbor's backyards looking for electrical connection on a pole or something. In the middle of the night, I'll surely get me shot. So in daytime, most of it goes away, but mine mostly comes back at night. So, that's my luck here. We all have to battle some kind of noise. And I probably have one of the worst cages in the world. I'm like you, Perry. I am landlocked. I can't do anything. My cow was on the side of the house. I couldn't even put it in my backyard. We have just about a third of an acre here, which is pretty small, but it's good for our roadway. But our backyard drops off like on a hillside. I got a little bit of flat land, and then we got the rest of it goes downhill. So we can't put nothing down there. The power lines up in a tree back there, but I don't know how to ever use that one. It doesn't work very good. Got probably a couple trees line behind us, about 100 feet long. So I don't know what's going on with all the stupid noises and stuff, but that's one of our downfalls. I can't get above the electric line. I can get above the electric lines pretty good if I went up into the big trees, but that's kind of hard to do the way the branches are laid out and everything else. I'd have a heck of a time putting the arms out on the dipole or something. I'll turn it back over to you, Gary. Again, good morning, Perry. And WD4NKA, WC4D.
So I jerked my feet just to make sure. Yeah, the conditions are really interesting. I'm totally listening to those on the web SDR. I switched over to the receiver just to see if I could hear anything. There was nothing there. So, now, we'll see what happens as the gray line pushes inexorably westward. The sun comes up and the van switches all the way around again. It is pretty noisy in there, too. I also noticed that there's a concept that it seems to be a pretty level 7 noise floor on this SDR, and about the same on the Hammerland. And there seems to be a little lower on the Yaesu, but I don't think the Yaesu is quite as sensitive as the Hammerland. Well, gosh, we're used to hearing more people, and maybe everybody else is being affected by what's going on. I've been fortunate to work right next to a pharmacy. I'm a dispensing optician. I deal with eyeglasses and prescriptions and all that kind of stuff. Doing this for coming up on 43 years now, looking every time. Anyway, there's a pharmacy right next to me, and they've been wanting me to get flu shots and shingle shots. I hate shots. Shots. And I credit that for me never getting on drugs when I was a teenager. But, yeah, maybe I might look into that. I don't know. So, not a whole lot more really to say here. Not really conversational, but I think it's probably because my coffee cup is empty. I'm going to go in the next room and get some coffee, I think. Terry, wondering if you made your Wawa run yet. Maybe you have. I'm going to see if I can sneak in there without waking the dogs. Come back out here again. Go ahead and take it, W3MMR. WD4NKA.
Yeah, WD4NKA. W3MMR. Now, no Wawa this morning. Sipping on some new coffee though. Texas or Vermont maple pecan. Bought 2 pounds of coffee beans from this, I forget the name, Lola Coffee or something. I don't know, something on Amazon. It looked really good and got good reviews, so I bought it. Along with $100 worth of coffee stuff. I went a little overboard with the coffee stuff the past few days. Ordered a whole bunch of wrong stuff, man, because I'm doing this pour over thing, you know, and it's, you know, I should have just listened to my father. He told me what to get, and I tried getting, you know, flying my own flag and got all the wrong stuff. So I have to return like $100 worth of crap. I spent $100, but I still got to return another $100 worth. So I spent about $200 on coffee stuff the past 2 days. Nope, this is a new coffee. Drinking it on my new coffee mug. A new Bubba mug. I'll put a picture of it on Facebook. Double insulated. Looks like a short, fat little, you know, barrel. Stainless steel barrel. Put a little DX Engineering sticker on it. Alright, Garrett, go get the coffee. We'll see you in a bit. Real good on hearing my father this morning. Don, I'll have to ask him, see what he was doing. Bummer about being sick. Sleeping 38 hours and 48 hours. That's a lot of sleep, man. I love to sleep, and on my days off, I usually get up, you know, 4 o'clock, get on here and operate real early in the morning. Then come 8 o'clock, I'll go back to bed for a good 3 or 4 hours. And wake up, you know, around 12 o'clock or so, 1 o'clock, and then continue on my day, unless I have something to do, but 9 times out of 10 I don't, so I just kind of catch up on sleep on my days off. And bummer with the electrical noise. Every once in a while, I think I might have mentioned this before, when it rains here, I get some line noise, but it's intermittent. It's not constant, you know. It's a beep, and then it won't do it for 5 or 10 minutes. Then it'll come back for, you know, a couple times, and then it'll stop. So it's really hard to find. I've tried to find it in my neighborhood, and usually every time I've gone to try to find it, it stops. You know, by the time I get outside the shortwave radio and walking around trying to find it, once I start getting close, it seems to stop. So we're still trying to track that down. But besides that, I mean, living in the neighborhood I do, Don, it's not surprising. You know, it's actually surprising my noise level is as low as it is, and I don't have more issues than I do. It's a lot better than it was before. At some points last year, it was 15 over S9 constantly, every single day, and it was almost unbearable. And I was using WebSDR majority of the time, and was having a hard time using my building and stuff. But now it's down around an S9, sometimes a little bit higher, so which is definitely more manageable. So back down to you, Don. Still holding up here real well. You're running about 15 to 20 over here. Same with Gary. You guys are both sounding great. WC4D in the group W3MMR.
You know what? I'm not a coffee drinker. Me and my wife, neither one of us. We're of it. But neither one of us like the taste of it. And I can drink it. I like that iced coffee. You know, I like the cappuccinos. You know, anything like that. I guess It's got to be sweet and all that stuff. I love them things, but being diabetic, there's no way I can drink them. If I drink just a little bit, man, my head feels like it's going to explode from all the sugar in it. So I got to really watch how much sugar intake I take. I used to love glazed donuts. We have a place here in town just makes a glazed donut to die for. And everybody raves about how good they are. And my wife told me, she goes, oh, I can't eat glazed donuts. I get a my forehead feels like it's just going to kill me from a headache. And I said, nobody gets a headache from a donut. And several years ago, I went out, me and a buddy of mine were going to go up to R&L Electronics to ham radio store up in Hamilton, Ohio, about just by Cincinnati, Ohio. And we stopped and got a bunch of donuts and ate them. Man, I hadn't got down the interstate no time. My forehead was just about to kill me. It was pounding. My wife has cursed me. I've never got a headache from a donut before. And so now I can't even eat glazed donuts because if I do, I'll get a headache from them. So all the things I've enjoyed in life, I have to give up anymore, it seems like. But that's okay. I still remember how good they taste. And every now and then I do take a bite or two of them and just savor them when I do. You know, it's funny with people that drink coffee, how they blend. I've got a buddy of mine. We had a coffee shop that we used to go to every Saturday morning, a bunch of the guys on 2 meters locally around here. And they sit in that coffee shop and they sell, I didn't know they had that many coffee beans in the whole world of different kinds. And I mean, this place must have 60 to 100 different kinds of coffee beans. Well, he goes out and gets this one and he gets that one and this one. He buys 3 different brands. He said he counts the beans, so many of this Ethiopian beans, so many Colombian beans, and so many whatever kind of other beans there is. And he mixes them together and puts them in his own grinder and grinds his own beans up. And I thought, how would you know how many beans to put in your food? Man, that's just lots of years of trial and error. But he's down to counting beans in different types. Heaven forbid if somebody mixed the beans up on him, I guess. But I just can't imagine there'd be that much difference. I never was a beer drinker, and I always thought all beer pretty much tastes the same. Some of them are a little more bitter than others, but I just never really acquired a taste for beer either. And I think maybe that's why I didn't like coffee, because of the bitter taste. My mom drank instant coffee her whole life, and I'd go out and buy it for her. When she'd come here, I'd have coffee waiting for her, and she'd put her tablespoon or teaspoon or however how much coffee she put in there and throw a cup in the microwave and heat the water up. But that's all she ever did. She liked that just fine, and that was pretty easy to do. But and I remember that thing going and waking up when I'd come there to visit. And every morning my grandpa would drink coffee and eat peanut butter toast. And I think for his whole lifetime, I think that man every day of his life ate coffee and peanut butter toast for his breakfast. With my electrical noise around here, matter of fact, when you were starting to talk, I had a little bit of it starting coming back, and then it went away, thank goodness. You were down a little bit when you first come back, and then you started getting stronger again and stronger and stronger. And you were about 20 over at the end, but you started at S9 when you first came back. I thought, oh no, this could be a hard one to copy, but my noise levels were like S5 this morning when the electrical wasn't on, so that's pretty good. Matter of fact, that's real good. Usually 75 meters isn't one of my brightest bands. So if I want to hear people, what I do sometimes, I turn over on my beam, and like if I wanted to hear you and I couldn't hear you on, if I put my 40-meter beam and aim it at you and switch over that real quick. And it does a pretty good job of picking people up that I can't hear with the regular antenna, with my dipole up here. And I think for a lot of the noise, it attenuates everything so much that I hear you really well without without having to do anything. So then I just switch back over. It's almost like having a receive antenna, which I don't have. I don't have enough room to put a receive antenna up. But anyway, it's kind of fun just to try different things. I've tried to do it on 20 meters. I even tried doing it on 2 meters one time with my 2-meter antenna, and that didn't work too good. My 60-meter antenna does pretty good too of receiving. It's basically right underneath my 80-meter antenna or 75-meter antenna. So they're both just stacked over top of each other on the same building and everything going up and down. I've got about 3-foot separation between the two of them. I thought it might work like a cloud warmer for me, but I don't think it has any interaction with that. So, I don't see anything with it. I used to do a lot of 15 years ago. I just got kind of burned out on it. There wasn't enough people on there a lot of times, and everybody wants to do FT8 on there, and I'm over FT8 for a while right now. I did a bunch of it at one time. That's all I did forever and ever, and got burned out on it. So got tired of everybody giving me such a hard time with it. I'll go ahead and turn it back over to Gary. He's surely got a cup of coffee by now. WD4NKA, WC4D.
Okay, WC4D, WD4NKA. Well, let's see, a lot of things to touch on there. I never did FT8, I guess is what it's called. I've done a little bit of the BSK33. Just listening, never transmitted on it, but I used to love listening to it because it reminded me a lot of teletype. I like things kinetic. I like things that are hands-on, and that's why I like code so much. And still do a lot of that. I'm not fast, but I've got my bug collection and my straight key collection, and I have my Helicrafters novice rig roundup position here, which I really like. It's all gray line. I don't have the HT37 in it. The HT40, which by the way I'm going to turn on AM at some point. And the Helicrafter VFO, the HA5 is feeding it, using HA1KA, which is still, I think, one of the finest electronic keyers on the planet. And that's being keyed by row panel. And then I've got two receivers. Covers the S108, which I'm in the process of supercharging. And by that I mean both stages of IFR regenerative, and I'm replacing the BFO with an XRO. It's going to be Crystal BFO. And but the main receiver for that position is the SX111, which is pretty good receiver. And that's sort of my other avocation, I guess you might say, in ham radio. I'm one of the co-founders of Novice Rig Roundup, which is an event that takes place, I think this year is going to be beginning of March, where we celebrate the radios that gave us our first voice on the air, whatever it happens to be. For some people it's an FT101, for other people it's a DX30, for a lot of folks it's a homebrew, but whatever it is, grab it, get on the air with it, and try to remember the days when you were a novice, and have fun, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we do that, and we have a Facebook page, which is for Novice Rig Roundup, and that's for our first 4 to 5 years of existence. I printed certificates. Everybody who participates got a certificate. I printed them on my 1936 Chandler and Price letterpress, which I share my shack with a letterpress shop. So I've got this big old giant hunk of iron that puts the B in boat anchor. I still do QSL cards for guys around the world if they want an authentic 1930s era QSL card. I'm the guy that does that. It's not cheap. Spoiler alert. That's why I don't have many people stateside. Seems like hams overseas are the ones willing to invest in fine works of art. QSL cards. Over in this country, not so much. But anyway, keeps me off. It's like bowling. It keeps me off the streets and in the alleys. Okay. Yeah, I'm a bean counter too. I like to count beans, only I'm not quite in a budget too. We got a local roaster here, Trilogy. He's real good. But I usually wind up mixing Gevalia coffee from Sweden with good old 8 o'clock coffee here. And I don't count the beans, I just measure the proportions, grind them up, boom, there you got it. And that's what I'm drinking right now. Use brown sugar. Beer. No, the only good beer on planet Earth is dark lager. People who like the pale ales are deceiving themselves. I feel sorry for them. I pray for them every day. But no, Guinness, Köstritz, Schwarzbier from East Germany. The really dark beers are good, low alcohol, 4%, which means you can have a lot before you really need somebody else to drive you. It's very smooth. Dark beer is very, very smooth. Very, very unbitter, lots of nourishment. It's like tobacco. The darker the tobacco, the smoother. caffeine is packed on. So it's always the best to eat tobacco and coffee. That God loves men. So go ahead and take it, Perry. W3MMR. This is WD4NKA.
WD4NKA, W3MMR. Well, that's, all right, what am I going to comment on? Sorry, I was staring at my phone and writing something, and then he turned it to me. I got to gather my bearings here. All right, what did I write down? Okay, real quick, you commented, Gary, back when I first signed, I broke in here, about coming through people's televisions, because it's not, you haven't run an amplifier on AM since the 90s, so on and so forth. I've noticed, I used to, there was okay, how can I put this? There was a point in time where I was doing something, somewhere, running excessive something at some place, and a lot of excessive something, and I wasn't coming through nothing, man, until, okay, I put a tube television. I ended up putting a tube TV in my shack. I got it for super cheap, and I was like, let me see how this thing works. And I was destroying that thing. Okay. And then I was like, I can't have this. So I bought a flat screen and put a flat screen in my shack. And my Yagi was directly overhead. I was on the second floor of this house. I was renting a room in the house, and I was on the second floor, and I had a 4-element Yagi right above my head. And I was running enough power to kind of fluorescent light in the fixture that I would make the light blink. The light would be going on and off. The overhead light would be turning on and off. And I still wasn't coming through my television. It was literally directly below my antenna. My point is, with digital television and these plasma screen, not plasmas, but LCDs, LEDs, and these new flat screen TVs, it's not nearly as rampant as it used to be, obviously. So I don't think you're going to have too much of an issue, unless you said you've already had an issue, and I missed that, then I apologize. But I don't think you're going to have any issue, because I know guys, on this band that run a fair amount of power, okay, and they don't, and living in environments like I do, and don't have any issues in their own QTH or with the neighbors. But I remember as a kid, growing up with my father, people knocking on our door at 4 o'clock in the morning, telling my dad we're coming through the phone, we're coming through their alarm clocks, he's coming through the television, and our house was like a beacon. It was only a mile from where we are now, from where I am now, in the middle of the city, and he had a 70-foot crank-up tower with a giant Mosley Classic 33 Yagi with a 40-meter difference. So it was bad. The antenna was as big as our house. So it was, everybody knew where it was coming from, So people, I'll never forget that. People were banging on the doors at all hours of the night when we were living there. He had ferrites spread all across that neighborhood, trying to subside the noise there. So I don't think you're going to have an issue, Gary. Real good on switching, speaking of 40-meter beams, real good switching over to the 40-meter beam there, Don, sometimes to pick people up. I have a small magnetic loop. I bought it off of eBay. There's a real cheap mag loop on eBay. It's like $40 or something. And it got really good reviews. And a lot of people, I read a few write-ups, guys, hams did on it, on their websites about it. And apparently they work really well, but I got it for the wrong reason. I was trying to get it to null out, this noise that I was having, but it only picks up, the magnetic side of the signal, not the electrical side. So it wasn't even picking up the interference at all. So what I'm going to do is try to put it on my roof and see if I can use it as a receiving antenna for here on 80, and maybe for 20 and 40. I think I might have a little struggle here on 80 because the thing's kind of small. But Brett, what's his N2DTS, he gets on in the evenings, has a bunch of mag loops, and he's built a bunch of mag loops that he uses for receiving here on 80 and 160, real big ones too. And he has real good luck with them. But I'm not a beer drinker either, Don. I don't ever drink. Maybe I'll have 1 or 2 beers a year, but I get an instant hangover. If I have 1 beer, I wake up the next morning feeling like crap. It's just the way it is. It's always been that way. And I used to obviously drink when I was younger, when I was in the military and stuff, in my early 20s, but for the past 4 or 5 years, I really don't drink at all. And you said about your wife getting a headache. If I eat sweets before I go to bed, I wake up with a headache. Any kind of sweets, a bowl of cereal, cracker, Oreos, anything like that, I'll wake up with a headache. I guess it's kind of like a hangover. I don't know. I guess the sugar digests just like alcohol does. The alcohol turns into sugar and dehydrates you when you sleep, so maybe that's the same thing. But anyway, that's my old buzzer for the morning. Back down to you, Don. WC4D in the group from W3MMR.
W3MMR, WC4D. Kind of surprised ain't nobody else checked in this morning. It's going on, 6:30 now? 6:27. And, I thought of that same magnetic loop you're talking about. A buddy, Bars down here, he was talking about him. He's got one. Now, we got a guy that lives between me and Kevin. And Sterling was exactly halfway in between. He's building an AM station that's going to be second to none around here. He's got the Super Senior 160/80. He's got the Super Senior 80/40. And I noticed yesterday, you might probably see his name's Ernie Threadmore on one of the AM groups that we're in. And he was talking about the modulation meter and stuff. He ordered 2 of them, he said, I think, or one of them with 2 modules on it or something like that for different wattages. But he had that post in there. And he's talking about getting a T368. And I'm thinking, why would you want to get a T368 if you already got thousands of dollars wrapped up in them Super Seniors that you got? And But I was talking to another friend of ours that lives down not too far from me. He's in the same club we used to be in. And he said, well, he's a pretty good technician and stuff like that. Because when I had my T3, I'll tell you what, there was always something wrong with that. I constantly had to have, and I don't know enough about fixing stuff to repair them things. The schematics to me are just baffling compared to what a BC610 is. So I used to have my buddies come over and work on it and fix this and fix that. It was always under some kind of repair. So I just decided I'm going to sell it. I sold it to a guy up in Columbus, Indiana. Columbus, Ohio. I mean, I loved the radio, and I had a really good-looking one, but it just always had little issues with it all the time. You know, when you hear Ted talking on it, you know, PWW, I mean, his sounds good. There's lots of them sound great, but... And I got a Globe King 500. I actually got 2 Globe King 500s, but one of them needs a mod transformer. And all I needed to do to finish on one is run the high voltage cables between the power supply to the mod deck to the RF deck. I got to run them on there, and I haven't got around to doing that yet. I bought the mount prop, but I've been dragging my feet. And since I worked on it, I got the BC610 that was actually given to me. And I've got all kinds of spare tubes with it. I got the speech amp, everything. And it's a 1952 model. And it's fairly, I mean, it's a pretty late model for it. It's an high model. And beautiful radio. I mean, it's good shape, and the inside of it is just as clean as a whistle. But I keep thinking, how am I going to talk on this thing? Because it's on one side of the room where I'm sitting at now is on the other side of the room. I cannot make up my mind what I'm going to do with it. So it sits in the wings waiting to be done, something to be done with it. But, you know, I'm going to use it eventually. I think I'm going to have to do another shack remodel here because when I put all, if you've seen in my pictures there, I have all my AM gear in there, but it's all 2 feet away from the wall so you can walk behind it and make connections. Because I've always had my stuff right up against the wall. And it's, with these big old heavy rigs, it's so hard to make connections and stuff behind it. So I pulled it out 2 feet this time to do it. Well, everything faces right down away from me. It's not really conducive unless I got it here. They're making a swing up a little desk-like piece for it. But it's not exactly the one. When I thought about it, I gave it a lot of thought, and I thought, this is going to be perfect. I love this. Well, it's good to look at if you want display radios, but as far as operation, it's not a comfortable situation. And, you know, I like my LED lighting that I put on it and stuff like that, and I like all that. And I got a Super Pro, I got a 7-foot rack here. It's got 2 Super Pro 600s in it and a Super Pro 400 in it and a Johnson Ranger. I've listened to one Super Pro 600. I've turned the Johnson Ranger on, but I haven't used it yet. I haven't even hooked it up. I'm pitiful. I'm a basket case for getting anything done. So many people would love to have some of the stuff that I got, if not all of it. And I have an ART-13 with the power supply and everything else. And me and my buddy put it on the air at his house and tried it out and everything else. I've yet to put it on the air, and I've had it for 4 years sitting on the rack over here. I turn it on, show everybody how all the knobs spin, but it works great. We've had great audio reports on it and stuff, but I've just got too much stuff. I'm overwhelmed with so much stuff around here. So, yeah, it's neat, but it's a curse also because it just puts a lot of stress on me sometimes. Why don't I use all this stuff? So there's days I think, man, maybe I just need to get a hold of it. Just, you know, I envy these guys. Just have one radio. They walk over here and they're in their AM position. And then they go over to their sideband position. I really do envy them people, believe it or not. But I love my radios. I'm a hoarder, I guess. And I don't know what to do about getting rid of some of them because I really don't want to. Well, anyway, I'll turn it back over to Gary down there. He was getting a little bit weak on me. There's a couple times he dropped out completely. I couldn't hear him at all, but he came back up again. So we'll do it again. WD4NKA, WC4D.
Okay, WC4D, WD4NKA. Yeah, the same here too. Don, I'm listening to you through the web SDR. I can't even hear you through the regular receiver here. It's just the way the band is today. And Perry is the other way around. I have to actually hear him through the HG129. And I think it's because the SDR receiver is too close. I'm not sure where it's at. It's a K3 at the figure it's K3. It's got to be up there, probably in the Philadelphia area. So it's probably too close. Well, yeah. Well, I'm not going to be here much longer, guys. I'm hearing the activity in the house, which means I'll probably need to head on out. But, Don, I know what you mean. I've got a lot of stuff here, too. I don't have the stuff where I've always wanted the Gold Kings, and I've always wanted the big stack stuff. But, now I'm, 65, and, to be real honest with you, I'm starting to look at stuff I have a little bit differently, and really I'm glad I've got it. And there's a lot of stuff. I don't have any more room for anything else. Really don't. The latest addition is this Collins amplifier, and it's the size of the MT-radio. I rather like it. I'm thinking of just by getting the matching scope, the YO, whatever it is. So I can have a scope there. And so when I take pictures of the shack, people will think that I'm actually know what I'm I've got a 1,200-pound letterpress. Every time I fire it up, I've got 21 oil ports. This old technology is wonderful. It's good. It's very kinetic. It's very low intensive. That's the reason why you have to pull your rigs away from the wall so you can get behind them and constantly do these connections. We love it. Come on, guys. It's the reason why we do this technology. We love the fact that we integrate with it. We love the fact that it doesn't work unless we work it. I mean, it doesn't fix itself. It needs maintenance, and that's part of what makes it work. That's how human beings are integrated in. It's not just dragging the push button. That's why we do it. That's why people do black powder shooting, and that's the reason why people do letterpress printing and AM on old TV. So I'm going to step away from the chair a little bit, guys, so I'm going to see what's going on in the house. I may be back. I may not. Looks like I'm S9 on the SDR myself. I'm looking at myself. Crazy feedback too. I hope you can handle with that. So, Barry, turn over to you. Probably not. Once those beds are pulled out, then my morning is on the roller coaster track. Pick off from there. So, let me just go ahead and say 70. Come back, I'll jump in. So go ahead and take it, W3MMR. This is WD4. It's all those alligators, which is sage advice.
WD4NKA, W3MMR. Yeah, I'm going to scoot out of here after this one too, guys. I'm going to call my son before he heads off to school, tell him good morning. And I got a big day of work. I got to start a motor job and hopefully finish it today because the guy needs it by tomorrow. And tomorrow's my day off, so I got a big day ahead of me. Yeah, the Mike K3FES receiver SDR, Gary, is about 100 miles from me. It's real close. It's right up in Northeast PA, up in the Poconos, up in Milford, PA. So it's this time of the morning you wouldn't be able to hear me on it, really. But yeah, I come in good on the QIX web SDR, Steve's web SDR there. It's not on the main SDR site, but if you Google Radio Engineering Associates web SDR, it'll pop right up on Google. But it is not on the main SDR site. So you have to put it in Google. But it is a phenomenal web SDR. It's the one I used 9.9 out of 10 times to copy everyone. His antenna is almost 100 feet in the air, and it's in a perfect spot, and it just receives the guys up here in the Northeast very well. And real good, Don. I haven't seen that post on the group there, so I'll have to scan through there and check it out. But that sounds pretty nice. All the K7 DIYs and 2 pickups on the mod monitor, and what did you think? He said a BC610 or T368. I couldn't know which one he said. That he's going to pick up as well. I wouldn't mind having a big transmitter, like that, but not right now. Not at this property. It's just too big. So the DX100 NC303 Hamilton HQ140X is works good for me now. I may get another transmitter, a smaller desktop one, another 100-watt transmitter, like a Johnson, a Viking Valiant, or I wouldn't want to have an arranger driving my amplifier. That would be pretty cool. But the next one I get, I do want to externally modulate it. I would like to. That would be my goal. And I'm looking for an SB615. I'm pretty sure that's the model. If you guys know of any around, it's a Heathkit Nixie tube frequency counter. I want one for the boat anchor station for the DX100. Yeah, Nixie tube frequency counter that Heathkit made. I've been searching online, haven't found one, and I put an ad on my phone. I'm going to put an ad on QTH and QRZ today. So if you guys know where one is, keep an eye out for me, because I'm willing to pay a good dime for one, especially when it's in really good shape. So anyway, we're going to scoot out of here, guys. 7-3, been a great morning. Everybody's been great. Gary, you've been hammering in here this morning almost 20 overtimes. So the amplifier is working great. It's great great to hear you this strong every single morning, consistently giving me a great signal. And Don, you've been hammering 2025 over the entire time as well. No issues. You guys will hear it on the recording, which will be up there in a couple hours. So give it a gander. We'll say 7-3, guys. Oh yeah, Gary, I got the gray line map up in the background of the pan adapter here. It's got an active gray line map. You can turn on and off here on the Anon in the background. So you mentioned the gray line earlier, so I thought it'd be pretty cool to turn that on. I don't use it much, so, but it's on there now. So 7-3, guys. Down to you, Don. I'll listen out for your guys' finals, and we'll talk at you guys hopefully tomorrow morning. WC4D with WD4NKA. This is W3MMR 7-3.
W3MMR, WC4D.
Well, W3 maybe a good morning. And
Go make a bunch of money so you can buy more radio stuff. We need to get together. I'm going to have to talk to you on the phone or something like that. I'll get you. I think that's your phone number or something like that. And if you don't mind, I'd like to call you. I want to learn more about SDR. I don't know anything about it. I feel like sometimes I really need it listening with so many stations that I'm struggling with. I completely lost Gary. I couldn't hear him at all. He went down and the band just went really long and he was out of here. I heard you 100% copy on you. But it was rough with Gary. So I think if I had a web SDR like you guys are talking about, I could pick up these other stations, especially sometimes on the old military net. And guys get on the arc 5 things and only running 50 watts, and especially East Coast. Sometimes they're great, sometimes they're not. Just all on the propagation. So 73 says, Harry, I'm going to go ahead and sign too, Gary. I'll say 73s and good morning to you. And we'll pick it up again tomorrow about same time, same frequency. And you have a great day down there in Florida. Could be a lot warmer there than here. We got 24 this morning. It's supposed to go up to, I think it might go up to 30-something today. So that's warmer than it was yesterday. I don't think it only got to 20-something degrees yesterday all day. So have a good morning, and we'll say 73. Back over to you for the wipe it out there. WD4 NKA, WC4D.
You still in there, Gary? He turned it down to you. I guess he got it out of there. But yeah, Don, I'll message you my number. And feel free to call me anytime. I get off work at 6, but you can feel free to call me anytime at work. I usually have my phone on me. If I don't answer, just leave a message, because I generally don't answer any numbers I don't know, because they're all the telemarketers. So I'll message you my number, and we'll go from there. Take care. WC4D, W3MMR, 7-3, Don.
All right. Thanks. We'll talk to you later. Have a great day. WC4D.